how do you learn and keep up with everything that's happening?
Yeah, so that's a good question, Mukesh. And I think this conversation about what are the innate skills that are human, truly human, is a conversation that we're especially having now because we're seeing this growth of AI, and it's really important that we look at that. And that the World Economic Forum every few years they publish their Future of Jobs report. They talk about the skills of the future, and every time for the last few consistently the reports, one of them is active learning. So it says that we need to be active learners, not just rest on our laurels on what we learned in the past. So active learning means continuing to learn, sometimes even unlearning things that used to be true, but aren't necessarily true anymore or don't serve us anymore. So for me as well, I'm really an active learner. So I pick and choose my channels that I learn through. And I think this is one of the really valuable things for all of us as learners, is to choose what learning style suits us best in terms of frequency and channel. So for me, I'm not very good at watching video. And some people who love watching videos. So I've got friends who spend a lot of time traveling, and they fly on planes. So they download TikToks and then they watch them on video as part of their professional development. I like listening to audio. So I listen to podcasts. I'm riding my bike. I'll go to the gym or go for a run. And when I'm doing other things, I can listen to podcasts and I can listen to them sped up as well. So I also consume TED Talks, but I subscribe to the TED podcast where I can listen to them in audio. And if there's one that's really visual, then I'll go and watch it. I think it's really worthwhile. So I think it's really important, first of all, to be an active learner, and second, choose the channels that work best for you. So I like reading because I can read quickly, and I read on my Kindle, I read on my phone, I can read pretty fast. But I know other people who love listening to audiobooks rather than the print version or sort of the text version. And for me, like, those audiobooks are too slow because I can read faster than I can listen to audio, but audio is faster than watching a video. So make sure you know what channels you're using. So the other thing that I do with two other things. So one with my learning is, part of my job is not just to learn for my own knowledge, but to learn what's valuable for my clients. And so, and this is not true for everybody, but for me as a futurist, I know that I've got to be broad. So my deep expertise is in futurism. It's in presenting. It's being a better conference speaker or a workshop presenter. That's my deep expertise. In terms of industries, it's very broad. But I need to know that because I need to tell my clients. This morning I was talking to clients in HR, in human resources, talking about the impact of AI in HR. And then tomorrow I'm speaking to education, speaking to school leaders. But I'm not talking about the in-depth, what does HR need to know, but it's giving them an overview. So I always think about, is this useful for my clients? The other thing I do is, as much as possible, what I learn, I'll share. So I post on LinkedIn and on Twitter, but many of the things I post are things that I've learned. Things like I read an article, and obviously I can save it for my own reference later. But if I can also share it immediately, then it means that other people are getting value from that immediately. And I do that just for my own benefit as much as theirs, Mukesh, because I can say, you know what, this was valuable, not just to me to read this and get it, but I'm sharing it. So it is actually worth me putting the time aside to do that. Can I also say that what you said of putting aside an hour a day for learning, it first of all demonstrates your commitment to learning, but it also is this whole idea of saying you commit to it in a real way. It's not just 5 minutes while you're waiting for a bus or a train or to pick up coffee or waiting for other people to attend the meeting. You have committed to saying an hour a day is significant, right? Of the 24 hours of the day, if you think about the time that you're awake and you're at work, the number of hours that you've got is pretty limited. And set aside one of those hours per day is a significant commitment. So you're actually putting time aside for your commitment. So I think that's essential. So for me, what I do is I choose my sources, choose the channels, and then share what I can. to make it useful to other people as well.
Yeah, and I think sharing also means that you're not passively consume the content, but you've reflected on it, and you kind of identified what is of value in that piece of micro learning, which is what you share. So you've done internalized a little bit of what you've shared as well, which you can then bring up as and when needed in your engagements with your clients as well.